Hello everyone, this is my mentor Mr. Stewart, and we are doing recording for standard 4 and 5. He is looking my presentation for both detail and the maybe presentation.
Okay.
So standard 4 and 5 about the knowledge. And this module I did it for box method. We have special ed students, and I have been working with Mr. Stewart. So you can check my
No class. Auditorium. Listen to the announcements.
So this is like I did it small presentation. This is we use in the class.
Okay.
Then there is another which explains like how detailed we're going to do the lesson. This is just the, it could be one class, or it could, like, we can divide in 2 or 3 classes.
Correct.
And covering standard 4 and 5.
Okay.
So from here I started, and I put some of the like work what I was doing with you in the class. That also put in the slides.
Okay.
So I'm doing on special ed. All
Right.
the students are special
Are
ed,
special
so
ed,
that's the easiest way. Like I'm working with you with the ARS.
Right. Okay. Perfect.
So you can check this and give your measurable and observable.
Okay. Alright, so perfect. Alright, so standard full content knowledge, understanding. Perfect. Explicit.
So for box method, like the other day when we were explaining, so that's the thing I covered in this. How we can explain and
Right. Okay.
what are the materials we're gonna use.
Perfect. Okay. Okay. So you gave your lesson flow, observation, timeline. Perfect.
How the lesson will be like 50 minutes, and how we're gonna do from warm up until the exit ticket, like end up with the exit ticket.
Okay. Perfect. 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 Okay. All right. Okay. So you just want me just to provide some feedback on
Yeah, on this, and also I have a detailed lesson plan also. The first we can do with this.
Yeah, I think this is all you really need to cover is just the outline, so you don't really need to get specific about the so are you recording now?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say for so everything that you have here is correct. So you start off with your lesson flow with your objectives. So you do have your warm up. The other thing is that you do, I'm just going through here. So you do allow time for real world application, which is about 15 minutes. You give about 15 minutes for guided practice, which is excellent. And mostly with our special ed students, you're probably going to have maybe a little more than 15 minutes of guided practice, because the thing about your lessons is, even though it's probably scaled for a 45 to 50 minute lesson plan, you probably want to do this lesson over 2 days, because there's a strong possibility that a lot of your students will not grasp the concept right away. So you always, sometimes you may just, maybe your first day is just more or less, I would say introduction, and then maybe do your guided practice. And then I would say the next day, you probably would still do a little more guided practice, but then also maybe give some time for independent practice, but also maybe use that time for like some reteaching. So especially for our special ed kids, because we know sometimes that the retention is not always going to carry over from one day to the next. So you could teach something one day and then they may forget it the next day. So always allow yourself time, whether it's in your warm up or in the introductory part of your lesson, to reteach some of the concepts, just as a refresher. Like class, what are some things you remember about yesterday? What do we do? What's the first thing we do when we solve for the box method, or when we're multiplying?
Just like a quick review.
Just a quick review. Always
and
do
then
like,
take over the class.
So do like a quick review, see where they are, give them a warm up to kind of, review what some of the things they remember from yesterday, maybe give them a problem to see how much they remembered. And then based off of the warm up, based off of like your icebreaker activity, then that should lead your lesson as to whether we should do a little more guided practice, or if we feel like the kids are strong enough where they've shown enough where they can go into independent practice. So that's why I say normally with our guys, you're never going to cover a lesson in one day. It's always going to be probably over the course of 1 or maybe 2 days, or maybe 1.5 days. So normally, when I teach my guys, I try to always give at least 2 days of a lesson, and then, you know, move on from there. But it all depends on how the students are grasping the concepts and how much of it they're able to do independently. And then, you know, you give like a, you know, always give like a cool down or some type of exit ticket or something at the end of each day to kind of see where they are and to see what you need to reteach and focus on.
I should plan in such a way, like, you know, it's not just one day. It
It's
could be
not.
like, you know,
You should
how
always,
we were doing, like,
Yep.
I was with you in this class, and you showed me, like, you know, from Monday we were planning till the Friday, and usually Friday you were giving as a
Yes.
certificate, right?
Yep. So Friday is
And
usually like,
practicing also.
Absolutely.
We were doing math, what you were
oh, they were doing their district assessment last
District
Friday,
assessment,
yeah.
yes.
But normally, on Fridays is normally like the day that we kind of like to assess. So that could be a combination of one unit, one topic, or it could be a combination of 2 topics. So normally we try to cover at least 2 topics a week. So for me, that would give me 2 days to cover 1 topic. And then on Friday will be a combination of those topics. Well, sometimes, if not, then it just may be just 1 topic that the kids cover on Friday. So for today, we just did the box method. So we covered that for like, you know, maybe 2 days, okay? And then we test that to make sure that they're good to go. Just wait right there. Yeah.
So how is this my lesson plan?
So the lesson
apart
plan is,
from that,
yeah, the lesson
I
plan
should
is
give more
actually,
minutes?
so no, the lesson plan is actually mapped out really well. The only thing I would say for you moving forward is just to make sure that for your lesson plan, that you always assume that you're going to teach more, teach this concept more than 1 day. So in general education, they probably would cover this in 1 day. But for special ed kids, you always want to allow yourself at least a day and a half to cover that, because the kids
I'll
do.
keep in mind
Yep. So the
that.
kids do get extended time, and that also goes for instruction as well. So, you know, usually the next day, even if you just take 15 to 20 minutes just to kind of reteach some concepts or whatever, then you
I'll
should be
keep
good
in
to
mind
go.
that way I'll plan next time.
Absolutely.
And there's a detailed lesson plan
Yes.
also.
Okay.
Here I can show you.
Okay. I'll just go back. So it's this one, first one or the second one?
Yeah, can you pick that one?
That one? This one?
No, I think here.
This one? Okay. First
Yeah,
one.
this one.
Okay.
But this is like, you know, just to map it out, and it's not
Okay.
slides, just
Okay.
you can use this mouse.
Oh, I'm just looking at it right here, what you have. Okay. All right. So this is just more or less just your, you know, just what you're doing. So this is just kind of an
Each
outline.
and everything I wrote
Okay.
and how we are doing and which standard. We are doing standard 4 and 5.
Okay.
So I map it out each
Perfect.
and everything, like minute by minute, and how many minutes, how the structure would be.
Okay.
And
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And like I said, this is good to guide you, but of course, you know, with teaching, you have to be very flexible. So, you know, everything is not going to go according to script, and it's not going to go according to time. So you may allow 5 to 15, 20 minutes for something, but then also you have to think, you know what, sometimes you may need to spend a little more on this, or, you know, sometimes it may take you a whole class period to get through a warm-up. So you always have to have some flexibility and be able to maneuver in that sense. I don't want you to get like stuck to sticking to your outline.
I should have a more flexibility and
Absolutely.
And advanced time. I should manage that.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
got
So
it.
always give yourself, be a little flexible.
Okay. Apart
with
from
your
this,
time.
any more things like I need to learn and, you know, for my
No, I would just say, you know, just for our population of students, just always make sure that you give yourself some allowed additional time. Just because we know that our students learn differently, and we know they don't grasp concepts as quickly as others. But just make sure that, you know, you give them some additional time just to make sure, you know, that they're able to grasp those concepts. So like I say, if the lesson is planned for a day, then, you know, you should maybe be able to expect to teach it in a day or a day and a half, or sometimes even 2 days with our special needs students. But like I say, but just give them all the supports that they need, you know, additional independent practice, additional guided practice,
and after
some direct
exit
instruction, and all of that
again
stuff.
we reteach those students, right?
Absolutely.
After,
You should reteach every day. Every day. Always reteach every day with our guys. So even if it's you know, something you did on Monday. Sometimes it's always good to go back and reteach or just review to make sure that, you know, if you're having a quiz at the end of the week that they're prepared, because sometimes they can forget something from Monday to Wednesday. So always allow your time yourself to review and to reteach.
And not only this, I make my video also, like hold the lesson
Yes.
plan, you can look into it and then you can grade it.
Right. Yeah.
So I have a video I can show you next, like once we are done with this.
Okay.
Yeah, this one,
Yeah.
you can see till the
Okay.
end.
Okay.
I structure it, and you know, I use different colors for
Gotcha.
the, you know.
Okay. Perfect.
So
perfect.
because I understand special ed
Yeah.
students
Yo, this
and
yeah,
what
this
are
is
the
this is
graphs,
good.
calculator, everything I mentioned over
Right.
there.
Okay.
And they said, you know, we should use the real-time examples. So in that we use, like, especially when we were explaining quadratic equation, we were using, like, you know, how from the building, the climbing thing and throwing the stuff, like especially how the ball will be thrown, and, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's what I mentioned in
Okay.
this, what are the
Perfect.
real-time
Perfect.
examples. And not only that, even for the cooking, how much time we take, that time also we can calculate. I mentioned those things.
Yes.
Because in my like, you know, this time they mentioned you should mention what real experience will be using in the math.
What real life
Moving
experience,
forward, the
yes.
students, they need to use this math in the real time. So like a P thing or something, so I mentioned that
Okay.
also.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
So
Yeah, that's good.
I compiled whole of this in a video, like 22 minutes.
Okay.
Some of them I'm explaining, and some of them like slides I shared, so I
Okay.
can share you that.
Very
So,
good. Okay.
Anything else?
No, I would just say just continue to do what you're doing, and also
Okay.
just like I say, just the timing of it. But other than
Okay.
that, everything looks well with your lesson plan and your outline.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're
I really
welcome.
appreciate that. More later. Thank you.